Now, coming in with her stories is Elizabeth Mwenda, a co-founder of Botanic Treasures, 100% women-owned enterprise working with over 500 farmers, 60% being women, and employing 70% women to develop nutrition products for addressing malnutrition in children, mothers, and sickly, over 90 nutrients. Elizabeth Mwenda.
So much for having me here. It's amazing what Crown Women is doing, and I am honored to be part of this journey as a woman. And yes, my journey did begin in a very interesting way because it was a need of a woman. You see, I had my child and I didn't have breast milk. And you can imagine for a woman not being able to breastfeed your child is quite traumatic, actually, because it's a life-threatening experience. And so when my husband came with Moringa, when my husband came with Moringa from the farmers we had gone to see, I was quite a bit not very comfortable because I'd not had herbals before. Of course, every food is herbal, but the thought of Moringa, something I'd never read about, something I'd never come across before. Anyway, I was too desperate because, you see, my mother-in-law was around. And I mean, for us Kenyan women, you know, when you bear a child and it's named after the lady who is the mother to your husband, and you don't have breast milk, it's too much stress. I was really stressed. So he came with Moringa in a small paper bag. I took a bit, and believe you me, within hours, I was a Fresian. A real Fresian. I had so much milk. And I forgot all about the stress I had. And my baby was choking on one boob, and I had a cup on the other. I mean, it was like I didn't even have milk issues. And my problem was solved. And then I wondered, okay, it was a couple of days in that stress, but there are women who actually have babies, and for months on end, even for years, they have challenges with their body. And that is how Botanic Treasures was born, because my problem was solved, and I wanted to see other women also experience that same, Godspeed kind of solutions for backache. Some even don't wash their houses. Some don't wash laundry. They have complications with the uterus and all manner of things. And the more I researched about Moringa, I realized, oh my God, this thing is so well researched for years. And in different countries, UCLA, in the US, and many, many other high institutions of health, that it had just not been quite exploited in Kenya. Anyway, to cut the story short, I moved from film, which is what I'd been doing for 7 years, and I started hawking, literally, Moringa, because the same farmers had Moringa. An NGO had come, told them to grow, but they never went back to buy. So I started with 5 kilos, literally 5 kilos of Moringa is how I started my business. And right now we are selling locally in many, many outlets. And we're also exporting. And the reason why I decided to open Botanic Treasures was when I looked at the nutrient content in Moringa and how it was mirroring the needs of the nutritional body of a human being. For me, it made sense to just chart the uncharted waters. At that time, 2007, 2008, even smartphones were not for everybody. We had the 3310s. So we went on to leverage on local knowledge and science, and we've developed quite a range of products. Our brand is called Green Gold. You'll find it in several supermarkets. We have curated different products from probiotics, which are very key towards your immunity and health. Then we have teas. Yeah, we know Kenyans love tea, but this one doesn't have tea leaves. It has Moringa as the base. And then we add the hibiscus or ginger or lemongrass. And because we know you're sweet-toothed, we put stevia, which is 0-calorie sweetener. So you don't add weight, when you take it, because sugar tends to, increase weight. So we've developed quite a range of products, over 30 products. We are in quite a number of outlets. We're in Naivas, we're in Quickmart, we're in Massmart, we're in Clean Shelf, and we are coming to those other outlets. So with my needs solved, I saw that there was a gap, because if our kitchens were the solution to our health, literally, the way they say food is your medicine, I wanted to make Moringa that staple food. It's part of your vegetables, it's part of your soups, it's part of your tea, it's part of your mala, it's part of your beverage, and that way you're nourishing your body in a very easy way. And that's why we have those products in the supermarket. So as an entrepreneur, I went in and looked, what is the economic value? Is there a market for this product? Even as I was emotionally solving my issues and my relatives and my parents, my friends, because that was my first market. And right now, the global market for Moringa is at 10 billion and growing, especially with COVID. We have the cosmetic industry, we have the natural products, the teas, we have animal feeds, we have water and purification, we have leather tanning, we have paper. I mean, there are so many unexploited areas that Moringa is able to service as one tree. And the best thing about it is that it makes terrible firewood. So wherever you grow it, people really can't cut it. And it sequesters 20 times the carbon than normal vegetation. So when I saw that those many opportunities, I figured, okay, Kenyans don't know. I'm going around every national show that the Minister of Agriculture, in fact, they give me a calendar. So I was going around back in the day to all those shows, educating Kenyans. And so far, we have educated more than 2,000 in training. We also have over 10,000 along the value chain. Green businesses are numerous. There is so much Moringa being hawked around. It's amazing. And for me, it's really good. Globally, the current demand is over 1 million. But globally, we've only grown about 160 hectares. 160,000, hectares of Moringa, and they require at least 1 million hectares. So there's still a huge market out there for women like me to exploit. So what are the challenges I've come across in the 10 years we've been in business? Well, it's been an uphill task. I can tell you for sure, because you're creating demand for something that is so useful, but people are so used to the norm, which is the tea, the coffee, which is good. It drives our economy, but we can spread our wings and try more options. So Moringa gives that option, and it gives also that global option for a market. So one of the main challenges, especially for the export market, is certifications. Yeah, certifications are a challenge, because not only do you certify the farmers, you're certifying the soil, you're certifying the process. So as an entrepreneur who has plowed back and grown organically, then it is not easy. But this, for anything anyway, business is not for the faint-hearted. So we are still at it. Then we have issues of warehousing. When we go for exhibitions, I've been to numerous exhibitions to Rwanda, Congo, Korea, China with the government. Warehousing is a problem, because you go there, you find a market, but how do you get your products to a warehouse to be able to supply those interested people? Sometimes the exhibitions are way out of, your reach, and you find there are other countries in between, like Philippines and India, who are able to actually supply the same market. So it's good also for the government to be able to do a due diligence. As much as people want to go for exhibitions, is it possible for you to actually supply that market? Yeah. So the lessons I've learned, even as an entrepreneur, you need to understand who between you can do that same supply, and what's the benefit of what you're producing over those other countries. Okay, if we are talking about China, we might say our soils are better. They are more organic, more natural. They don't have many pesticides. So, and even the quality of our moringa, the nutritional benefits, being at the equator, all those give us, like our tea, an added advantage. Okay. Networks. Sometimes you find those forums, especially now with COVID, those forums have become a challenge where you're able to go and network. But I appreciate now I'm seeing, like a resurgence in this space where we are having forums for women, forums just for business people to be able to network. And then, of course, when you're going to some of these countries, especially in Africa, there's issue of harassment for women. And for me, I think it's because of lack of knowledge. If we knew some of these tariff barriers or trade agreements from Kenya to Uganda or Tanzania or East Africa as a whole, and we knew it was common knowledge, either you walk to a Huduma center and you're able to find that information, then even as you're traveling, you're equipped. In this country, I'm not supposed to be paying, whether it's tax or whatever it is, that tariff agreement that is between our country and those other countries. So women, we have that challenge because we go blindly. You go meet this officer at the government or the clearing office, and he takes advantage of you. He wants you to pay for this, pay for that, and that is actually a tariff that is non-existent. So if we were able to have this knowledge, either a government app that you just click of a button and I'm going to Congo. This is what I need to be aware of. I need to have my yellow fever. I need to have this. I need to have this and this, the other. And I'm not supposed to pay for all these other things. So it makes trading easier for women because as long as a woman is economically empowered, surely the community, the family, the children, the relatives, everybody stands to gain. In the issue of financing, I feel women have been, I don't know if it's taken for a ride. In the 10 years I've done business, I'm yet to access women financing. Even the Women Enterprise Fund, I went even up to their main offices at near Pan-Afric to inquire. Oh, you're sent to this bank. You move from bank to bank to bank, inquiring where is this women money. And if I have not been able to access that money, then I wonder which other women have been able to access this money. So the truth of the matter, if I put it in Kiswahili, hii pesa ya kina mama, vitu kwa ground ni tofauti. We are not able to access that government funding for women. And I'm talking as a woman who has been able to go out there. I've walked into banks and I've not been able to access that money. So can it please be made accessible to women so that we can actually transform our communities? We are working with a lot of women in our resource center. Actually, they make 80% of the workforce. Okay. And of course, you can imagine the children that are actually making it to schools because of these women. We have been able to stop the issue to actually mitigate hunger where we have our farms because we intercropped moringa with cowpeas. We've intercropped it with sweet potatoes. Imagine harvesting a sweet potato the size of my head. Yeah, that is how amazing moringa is as a crop for intercropping. You don't have to intercrop the whole farm, but at least you can be sure where you plant where moringa is, the yield is much higher. Then we've also been able to ensure that people around us, our market reach, people are enjoying good health. If you take moringa, you can be sure. If you have issues of obesity, it works on your weight. Yeah, because it actually is able to mitigate against the hormone that the body uses to store fat. So make it a lifestyle, not a one-off. When you're trying to think, I have to fit into this dress because I have a wedding, I have a function. No. Just make it your normal vegetable and you'll enjoy it. And we are restoring landscapes. We've gone to areas like Tharaka-Nithi, we are in Bere, we are in parts of Meru, arid Meru, and you can actually see where moringa grows. It requires very little rain. So it's able to reclaim landscapes. And remember, with very little rain, you're able to actually have a lot of mboga, even off season. So, like the rain that rained in Nairobi yesterday, that is so much rain. In the next 2 weeks, if it had rained in my farm, I would be looking for space in the dryers because of a lot of leaf production. Just one heavy rain. So, in terms of climate mitigation, it's fantastic. Now, in 2015, we were endorsed by the president for a school greening project, which actually never took off. But last year, we began a Trees for Nutrition school project, which we have launched in Tharaka-Nithi in partnership with the primary schools there. And what we are telling the children is, you plant the trees. And the class with the highest survival rate, we're actually going to gift them. Why? Because we want this community to actually restore their environment and also earn an income from us, because we are going to offtake whatever they grow. As we are growing our export market and the local market, even the regional market, then we'll be able to transform the lives of these children. We'll not have children not going to school. We'll not have malnourished children, because, there's a study in Kenya about stunting. Yeah, which means the child is not able to get the right nutrition to actually grow proper, what would I say? Yani kuwa sharp with enough mental clarity, and that's all because of the diet, whether when the mother was pregnant or even as the child was growing up, the under fives. So we'll see less mortality. We'll see healthier children in our communities. So for us, we would want this project to spread all over Kenya and beyond, where schools and hospitals, like in Ghana, Moringa is grown in the health centers. And that's because mothers begin at an early age to breastfeed children with high nutrient milk, because whatever they eat is what they're able to give out. The accolades we have gotten, we have had UN awards, award. We've had the presidential endorsement. We've had the World Resource Institute naming us as the 15th top in Africa last year in terms of land restoration. Kenya Climate Change Ventures are our partners and they're our supporters. And we look forward to more women being courageous enough to go out there. What is in your environment? What can you use to transform your community? What can you value add? And don't worry, the struggle is real, but don't give up. Just keep going. Help will find you on your way, and you'll have transformed many, and that will be a business, and it will transform lives. So it's been wonderful being at Crown Trust to share my story. Thank you.